Today we are discussing AI safety and digital well-being. Alina Rivilis, the founder of AI Future Leaders, is going to present some trends in AI-driven threats and take us on a journey on how we can stay safe and savvy online.
Such as customers buying something or lying about something, we can actually generate content and videos and speed up those marketing campaigns. At the same time, there's a lot of risk. There is misinformation, there is harmful information floating out there. There's also personal risk in terms of your personal data and information. There's lots of lawsuits happening around ethics, around IP infringement, such as artists and actors. Their images are being used and reused in ways that they did not approve of. There's so many deepfakes out there and scams, lots of scams out there. So let's go on to actually discuss some of these scams. They are on the rise. AI scams are surging. And in 2023, this fraud exceeded $10 billion, which is a huge increase from the previous year. And now in 2025, in just the first 3 months of the year, we are seeing the same amount of scams as in the entire previous year or 2 years. So in just a few months, a lot of scams, a lot of fraud is going on because AI is getting much better. It's getting way better at generating content. It's getting better at generating images and videos and sound. And while we can use AI to help fight the fraud, it also gives scammers new tools, which is harder to detect. So staying safe is very important. AI fraud is pretty much mainstream, and a lot of individuals are getting attacked by these deep fakes and these scams. According to Deloitte, 1 in 4 executives reported that their organizations came under attack with deepfake incidents targeting financial and accounting data. And businesses, they can face huge losses and fines as well. Many security breaches are happening out there in the enterprises, in the corporation. But also when it comes to personal information, that is also, So deepfakes, way better. Actually, take a look at this one. This is Obama. Only one picture here is the real person. Everything else is AI generated. Only the one in the very corner is the original video, was the original image of the individual. Everything else is being done with an AI. It's mimicking the tone, it's mimicking the structure, the intonation, the way that the person moves and behaves, and it's getting much better. So there was a study, actually there were a couple studies. Individuals are being shown images and they're being asked to rate, is this AI generated or real? So R stands for real and S stands for synthetic. And these are the survey responses. In reality, all of these are AI generated, all of these. But many individuals have been scoring many of these pictures as real pictures. And that was also a bit disproportionate when it comes to the ethnicity of different faces. And that was happening because AI was trained on images, mostly of white Caucasian individuals. And it was doing a much better job generating such images. It wasn't doing as good of a job and as realistic of a job with other ethnic groups. But what was interesting is that there was a follow-up and individuals were asked, do you trust these faces? Rate as trustworthy or not trustworthy. And what's interesting, the images generated by AI got more votes, 8% more than real pictures. So individuals in this particular study found the image is trustworthy. They also found AI images. They didn't think they're AI images at all. So this is fake news. Fake news, there is a lot of it happening out there. All of these pictures are fake. But if you don't check your facts, you wouldn't know because it's so realistic. You would have no idea, is this real, is this fake? And you're just basically taking the information out there. And if enough people talk about it and let's say share these images, many of you are going to think, well, this is real. Maybe Trump was involved in something like this, and maybe Putin was taken, or something else was happening. But misinformation is quite common out there. In 2023, fraud really went up. And the reason for that, AI became much, much better. It became way better in impersonating execs, politicians, individuals. Right now, there are tools out there where AI only needs, honestly, a couple seconds of somebody's voice and a tiny bit of their images. And if you are a public figure, it's so easy to grab your information. It's very easy to grab your information. And Canadians, we had some election not too long ago, right? During elections, AI-generated ads and fake news were all over the internet. And 1 in 4 Canadians encountered fake news online in just that 1 month where we had the elections. So these news and these fakes are out there, and it's very difficult to tell what is happening. This is another type of scam, an interesting one. AI can generate images, very realistic images. This is a weird scam that's happening out there. Fake insurance claims. You take your picture of your car and you ask AI to make it look like it was in a car accident. It wasn't. And that was a weird scam. So cloning somebody's voice. There are tools right now, many tools, AI tools, to take as 3-4 seconds is enough in some cases to mimic completely the way you are. And you could even, we can even make you sound as if you're speaking in different languages. And it will retain your accent, your intonation, the way that you sound. So these scams are, we take somebody's voice, and let's say you get a phone call saying, "Hi, Mom, I've been in a car accident. Send me some money. I need the money urgently. Something happened." And it sounds just like your child. But the impact is very huge because many people are now falling victim to this. And if you have got your data, your information online, let's say you have been recording some videos for YouTube, for TikTok, your data, your personal image, your voice, the way you look, the way you sound, it's going to be out there. So 70% of adults, they report being unsure if they can distinguish a fake AI voice from a real one. And studies basically show that it's pretty much random. We cannot tell what's real and what's AI. So there's different types of scans. Let's spend a couple minutes here. We just talked about deepfakes, videos and audio, and other types of fake data. Voice cloning. AI is extremely good at this. So the common scam is basically someone calls you and asks for money. And there was a very interesting deepfake situation that took place in Hong Kong. Scammers took more than $25 million. Actually, they managed to scam $39 million. Someone pretended to be the CFO of a major company And there was a video going to the accountants, to the employees, and the CFO was saying, we have to urgently send money from this account to this account. And guess what? The employees did it. They actually thought this is instruction from the CFO. They literally transferred $39 million, no questions asked. And then the video cut off. As soon as they started asking questions, and some of them were starting to think, well, something weird is going on. But it was a bit too late. The funds, the money was already gone. It's already moved out. There's also interesting situations happening with phishing and squishing and smishing. That's when you are encountering, I just showed you a QR code to a real survey, right? You could go to a survey, to a poll, and answer questions. But what if you had a QR code that's malicious, that is sending you to a place where AI pretty much hijacks your data and does more action with it? Other things such as crypto, there are certain schemes there with AI investment scams, and there's also bias. Not necessarily a scam. That is not a scam at all. That is just bias. If AI was trained on, let's say, data, because the way that AI works, it is trained on data. And if there were certain patterns in the data, such as, let's say, healthcare information, and we are interested in funding medical procedures. But let's say only male athletes are in the data set. When you train AI in this way, and it only sees this type of data, when it sees other types of patients, it's just going to decline. It's not going to fund. And that means there is bias. That's what I mean by bias in the data. Now, there are AI systems now to select in education applications and in the workforce. When you're applying for jobs, there are algorithms running there, sifting through resumes and selecting candidates. If those systems are set up with bias, and there was a very famous situation recently at Amazon, they trained AI to select the best. They basically said to AI, you know what, these are 100 resumes, these are good engineers. I want you to find similar good quality engineers for me. The problem is they only fed engineers that were men, only males. So immediately when the AI system saw female candidates, it was just turning them down. So not everything is malicious. Disney actually built an AI to help age or de-age actors, because a lot of money and time is being spent on makeup, and this is an application. So scams are getting much more convincing. They're failing those traditional verification methods. And when last year or 2 years ago, you could spot a fake AI generated image, now it's much harder. And it's harder because there are scams targeting kids, targeting adults, targeting businesses. And these scams are across the world pretty much. So this is a funny one that is floating around. This individual is an engineer who used AI tools to turn into this character. And he is basically the look looks like a girl, right? But it's him. So he moves, whatever he's doing, the AI character is doing. He even eats some noodles and fidgets with his face. But basically, there are AI tools to help turn you into pretty much anyone out there. There are tools real software platforms. Some of them are even free. So this young lady actually turned herself into Jackie Chan. You can actually go download some of these tools, and it's going to look just like Jackie Chan. It might even sound just like the actor. And many of these are very addictive in design. And many of these platforms and AI products, they don't have an age verification or anything to stop, let's say, minors from accessing these tools. Anyone out there can go and start accessing tools from ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude. There's other tools out there. So there's anything from image generation, conversational assistants, and it's very difficult to actually spot. So this is an AI podcast. Let's listen for a couple of minutes.
Script actually, and it tackles a pretty unsettling question about technology and, well, our perception of reality.
It's focused on deepfakes, right? This AI synthesized content. And the source really emphasizes how surprisingly easy they're becoming to create now.
Absolutely. And the central question it poses, it's one that kind of sticks with you. If seeing isn't believing anymore, what does that actually do to democracy? It digs right into public trust.
That really is the core challenge, isn't it? I mean, democracy fundamentally relies on us having some shared understanding of what's real, a baseline of information we feel we can trust. Deepfakes just chip away at that.
So let's spend the next few minutes exploring that. We'll look at just how powerful deepfakes are, how they can be used, for disinformation, their potential impact on trust, on.
So what are you guys thinking about this podcast? Interesting? Informative? These two individuals are discussing essentially this topic, AI safety and deepfakes and scams. How many of you think these are real characters? Because they are not. These two are AI generated. Last night, I generated this image using AI. So these guys do not exist. Also, the 5 minutes that they are discussing and having this nice chit chat about deepfakes and scams, I also used AI to generate this podcast. It is extremely real, but it's extremely, extremely fake. This is not real. I could have given them any topic to discuss, any situation. I could have massaged this and manipulated this ever which way. It took me a couple seconds to create this very realistic image of these two co-hosts. It took me not that long with creative prompting to generate the sound and merge these two. I could have actually taken this a step further, having them actually like video and playing this out. So this is completely something that if it took me in maybe under, 15, 20 minutes of time to generate, if it took me 15, 20 minutes, imagine a bad actor out there. Imagine someone with access to these AI tools and a bit more time and a bit more, intent doing these types of things. So in the US, the Trump administration has been signing some legislation. There are some laws, some policies going into effect. So the Trump recently signed and a few acts, in particular, Take It Down Act, and essentially laws around safeguarding children on the internet. So if there is some malicious information going out there, you can actually take information down. And 20 states passed age verification laws to verify the age. It's actually easy to say that you're older than you actually are, but at least they're trying. At least they are trying to do this content verification, and Utah passed an age verification law to impose parental consent requirements at the App Store level. And there are others. So what I want to point out with this slide is it's inconsistent. Different countries have got inconsistent laws and inconsistent legislation. So emotion is this new attack vector. Scammers literally weaponize your information. There's a lot of data we can scrape from the internet. We can go after financial data. We can, if it's out there, we can scrape publicly available data. By the way, the word publicly and public, not exactly the same thing. And many of these AI models are being trained on a ton of this information. A lot of this data, which is the entire internet, essentially, that's what pretty much goes into these large models, such as the GPT-4 model from ChatGPT. And when you're using these large models, they're basically trained on a ton of this data. But misinformation is out there. So we can use these models to generate content, but we can also generate malicious content and information. And protection actually starts with education and awareness. Don't just assume that your government has got the right laws and the right regulations and the right guardrails. Don't just assume that your kids have got access to safe AI tools and products out there. So emotional connections with an AI chatbot, that's an interesting one. AI has been equipped to understand and interpret and empathize. We can actually give instructions, and right now all the craze is with AI agents. So building AI that is smart enough to behave in certain ways, and we can have one AI, for example, regulating another AI, and we can actually create AI assistants and AI. There's lots of interesting apps sprouting out there targeting kids, and they're very addictive, and they're trying to mimic and simulate human interpersonal reactions. And the way it's done, I'll tell you how it's done. We have got maybe an extra layer on top of the AI model that maybe gives it some instructions. So we can give it some sort of instructions to say, your role is to be an assistant, or your role is you need to act in a certain way and make sure that the conversation keeps going. And we can say things like, and we can give it data, more data and more information. For example, we can give it an input matrix. When somebody talks about my cat died versus my grandma died, you want more weight on grandma. You want less weight on the cat, because maybe death of the grandma is much more serious to a human. But we can teach AI these things. We can actually teach it this interesting information and this interesting behavior. So AI assistants, there are many out there, and there's many AI tools out there. They're becoming extremely good at this and simulating human-like interactions. Many of them also come with a memory as well. So AI chatbots, they cross this line. Sometimes they do, and there have been some cases. There was even a case of a suicide that took place in a 14-year-old, where AI said, well, if you harm yourself, you're going to go to heaven, because I'm not a real person. I exist in heaven, so join me in heaven. Because the child fell in love with this assistant, there was a case of suicide, and obviously the AI company was sued, and there was quite a bit of going around this, and this happened in spring last year. So sometimes they do cross into harm. And it's very difficult to build AI that's very much child appropriate, because it's just very difficult to make sure that the training data that is used to train the AI doesn't have anything malicious in it. Because if there is something that's malicious in the training data, there is a probability it's going to get exposed in the chat, in the conversation. So AI is not your friend, it's a tool. That's all I'm going to say for you today. Half of the US schools are training teachers in AI, but still many teachers and many educators don't fully understand how exactly AI is built, how it's made. There's also gaps. There's different gaps that are taking place. Low income districts and areas don't have as much funding for education, and these gaps are becoming apparent. Then you also have got individuals with access to technology and access to education, and then you have got some that do not. And many university, majority by now, it's actually more than 90% now, universities publish AI rules, guidelines, and policies. But students are not clear, and many are using AI. And there is a new act in New York, Child Data Protection Act, effective June 20, this month, that bans targeted acts to minors. But it's only one state. It's not a national type of thing. Also, these will vary between Canada, US, and other countries. So why is it important to understand AI? It's no longer a niche technology. It's everywhere. Social media, classrooms, homework. You are using AI most likely every day in your jobs. Your kids are using it. And these algorithms, they do anything from selecting college admissions, jobs, and you need to be aware how this works and how to navigate this, because now you have got AI tools helping you write the resumes, and you have got other AI tools to select the candidates and those resumes. So it's an interesting situation that we are in right now. It's important to demystify how it works. If you understand that there is nothing really magical about AI, it doesn't have feelings, it doesn't really, have emotions. It's mimicking the humans. It's literally predicting the next token, the next word, the next sentence. It's very good. We call it, token window. It's extremely good now at taking thousands of characters into the input and spitting out thousands and thousands of characters out. It can write entire books by now, but it's mimicking. And the way it's doing it, it's trained on data, publicly available data. It's just trained on trillions of parameters. And that's why it's so good at doing these tasks. So it's important to understand how AI works. It's important to understand the dangers. And this is how you can protect yourself. It starts with education. So number one, what you should do, verify. A lot of these scams and scammers, they tend to get this urgency. It's going to be, a sense of panic. And by the way, these scams are not new. They just have new tools. They just have AI tools. Like I showed you earlier, that it took me 20, 30 minutes to create a fake podcast with characters, with images, with a sound. It looked pretty convincing to you guys, right? It was completely, I scammed you. I created a podcast, right, on this topic. But you have to be skeptical. You need to educate yourself, and you need to be aware. And your best tool is education and awareness. So this is the 4-step family digital safety protocol that works. Number one, you verify the information. Set up a family password. Go to your family and friends and select a keyword. It can be any word out there. I don't know, anything. Grapefruit, that's a good password. Create a password and do not share this password electronically. It should be said in conversation. It should be shared in a way that nobody can hack and grab your family password, but do create a password. Where possible, do enable two-factor authentication. If you can see that somebody is hacking into your accounts, maybe have ways to lock it down and quickly. Do keep track of social media, of what your kids are doing, and even what you're doing. Your social media could get hacked. It is important to monitor. It is very much important to monitor your bank, your credit, your social accounts from time to time. You can set up, there are certain tools out there to keep track on these things and have discussions. Talk to your friends, talk to your families about new scams that are out there. So there are safety tips, such as just don't share your information, limit how much you share. Your data is at risk. Your conversations, when you're using the ChatGPT, your conversations, whatever information you copy, paste, or submit becomes part of the training set. And that means that if you give it enough of your information, other individuals could get access to it because it becomes part of the training data, which is why corporations do not use the publicly available ChatGPT from OpenAI. They tend to have guardrails and they tend to use enterprise-grade tools. And when you're using those AI tools, do check what happens to your data, where is it going? If somebody calls you up and claims something, ask that secret question. You know what? Ask them to call back. Try to focus on privacy by design. Limit how much you share and advocate. And also critical thinking. So with AI future leaders, we understand how AI works, and we understand that it's important to learn how it works. So AI safety and ethics, it's baked into all of our courses. We also understand that the future job market is going to demand AI fluency, not just being able to use AI, but also how it is, what it does. And uninformed use does put you at risk. So we do offer small classes, real-world AI applications to boost academic admissions, and this is being taught by industry experts. We do have 6 and 12-week courses available, and check us out at aifutureleaders.com. Here are some of our courses. We have got courses by age groups. We've got grades 6 to 8, as well as grades 9 to 12. We have got interesting and fun, exciting courses for the summer, starting in July and August. AI Explorers. We've got AI Creators, so it's more about using those AI tools, and AI for comic making, so AI comic creators. Do check it out. We are running Tuesdays, Thursdays, also a couple other days in the evenings, after school, after those camp hours. Sessions are 1.5 hours long. They are taught online by experts.